Listen to me right now. If you've ever had that feeling like, oh, I'd love to be achieving this, or I'd love to be accomplishing that, but I just don't have the energy to do so, this is the thing that is going to change that for you. This is the thing that is going to give you the energy that you need to actually take action. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, what I wanted to do was actually talk a little bit about routines. Now, I know routines are a super popular topic here on YouTube. There's an abundance of videos about morning routines, exercise routines, and everything in between. But what I really wanted to do in today's video was essentially just sit down and share all of the routines with you that I have set up in my own life so that you can start using these to be more organized and more productive in the new year. I want to share a little story with you. I used to be someone who used to massively rebel against organization, structure, and routine. I've always been someone who likes to have a lot of free time, and I've always been someone who is quite spontaneous as well. However, a couple of years ago, I actually worked with a life coach, Natalia, and she said to me that, Erin, you actually become a lot more free the more structure and routine you set up. And for me, at the beginning, I didn't believe her, to be honest, but when I really sat down and I thought about it, I was mind blown. The more structured you are, the more that you are organized and structured and the more routines you have in place, the more free time to do whatever the hell you want you will actually have. Because why? You stop dilly-dallying about, you stop spending so much time in that I should do this, I should do that, when do I do this, how do I do that? When you are essentially a little bit militant with the way that you structure your day and how you get work and other activities done, the more you'll actually be able to just get it over and done with and move on to things that you maybe more enjoy or just having free time. And so I really want to use this video to empower you that if you are someone who is struggling to be productive, to take action, to get your business started, your content out there, your body in shape, whatever it is that you're going to try achieve in the new year, routines and structure might actually be the thing that really help get you there. Now, yes, of course, it is going to take a little bit of practice and discipline to get yourself set up. But the best part about routines is what they essentially do is they create a new habit. You know I'm absolutely obsessed with talking about habits. Why? Because I don't really like to work that hard and I don't really like to think that hard. So the more things that I need to do that become habits in my life, the easier essentially life becomes. It's life-changing, which of course this video is a part of my life-changing series here on YouTube, Changing Your Life for the New Year. So if you haven't watched the previous videos about habits, about goal setting, I will leave those down linked in the description below. But today's video, as I mentioned, is going to be about the routines that you should be setting up to be more structured, more organized, to get more done, but also to have more free time and to have a more fun new year. So if you did enjoy the video, I would very much appreciate it if you gave it a big thumbs up. And of course, if you are new around here, why not consider subscribing? I put videos up all about business and mindset, and I have a really exciting new series starting in the new year all about how to start your dream business. Okay, so don't shoot me with this first one. I know this one is going to seem super obvious, but hear me out. The first routine that you're going to want to set up is a morning routine. Now, hey, I am not saying that you need to wake up at 5 a.m. I'm not saying that you need to meditate and do all of these different things. Ugh, yuck. Don't do anything that you don't enjoy. That is my philosophy on life. But what I am saying is know how to set yourself up at the beginning of the day. Too many people are just chancing it. You know, am I going to wake up in a bad mood? Am I going to wake up in a good mood? I don't know. Let me just figure it out on the day. When you are super intentional about the way that you wake up and those first few activities that you do, you really can set yourself up for success. You can set yourself up to turn a bad mood into a good one or to turn a lazy day into a productive one. I made a video recently about setting up a system for your morning routine that is in accordance with what actually sets you up for success and what you actually enjoy. So I'm going to leave that one linked on the screen right now. You can definitely go check it out. But what I would suggest you do is spend the first few weeks of the new year experimenting with a few different options of things that you can include within your morning routine that that are going to set you up for the rest of the day. Remember, the main intention behind a morning routine is to get you in a good mood, is to get you feeling positive, productive, focused, energized. And so what is it that you specifically need to do to get yourself in this particular state? Remembering, not every day is going to be perfect. Not every single day you're going to wake up and be like the superwoman or superman of your own life. Some days you're going to feel shitty, and that's okay as well. The reality is, we're not going for perfection with any of these routines in particular. We're going for progress. We're going for, how do I try my hardest to be the best version of myself each and every single day. And when I fail, so what? Who cares? Just move on to the next day. But starting your day right, starting your day energetic, starting your day focused, starting your day as positive as you possibly can is really important. So don't get caught up on the whole YouTube facade around morning routines. You know, not everyone does the morning routines. Even the morning routines that I've put out, I've been really honest in saying that's not what my morning routine looks like every single day. So don't compare yourself and don't compare your mornings to what everybody else is doing. Just find something that gets you. Remember, the intention is to get energized, focused, and positive. What is that for you? Figure it out and then do that as many days as you possibly can. The next routine number 2 that I'm going to suggest for you, and I've mentioned this on my channel before, is a learning routine. This is specifically for those of you out there who are trying to start a business or are trying to become a content creator of sorts. One thing I will say is that one of the biggest fears that entrepreneurs run into is running out of things to say. And I get it. I've been there. I have run out of things to say. Usually it's because something happens in my life, but what keeps me in that uncreative state is that I'm not consuming enough new knowledge or learning new ideas, and that kind of puts me on a bit of a repetitive loop. And then I start to feel really uncreative and uninspired. And of course, the best way to get out of that is to make sure that each and every single day I am learning something new, or each and every single week I am learning something new. For me, I personally try to make my learning routine learning something new every single day. Do I fail on days? Abso-freaking-lutely, because again, we're not going for perfection, we're going for progress. But I know for some people, it's just not going to be realistic to sit down and to learn something new every day, unless maybe it's a podcast or a video on the go. But what I recommend is that you at least carve out 30 minutes to an hour once or twice a week to actually sit down and learn. If you want to become a YouTuber in 2021, make sure that you are carving out 30 minutes to an hour every single week to learn about thumbnails, titles, how to produce better videos, how to be more confident on camera. If you want to be an entrepreneur, make sure you sit down and learn about funnels and business and creating really great products and a really great customer experience. Whatever it is that you're trying to achieve or whatever it is that you're trying to grow, where your attention goes, energy will flow. And I know that sounds super corny, but it's just true. If you want to get better at something, if you want to progress in a particular area, you have to give yourself the time and space. I just personally see too many entrepreneurs who say want to grow on the internet or they want to grow their income, but they're putting no time and effort into actually learning about these particular things. And there is so much information out there, whether you invest in a course, a coach, or you go with free content that's on the internet. There is so much that you can learn. So that's not the excuse. The excuse is probably that you're just not giving it the time and space that you need. So put it in the calendar. Spend time and get in the habit of each and every single week or each and every single day, if you're ambitious, trying to learn something new about the areas that you're trying to achieve in 2021. Now, the third routine, and this is something that is also really important for those of you who are trying to become an entrepreneur or an online content creator, and that is that you're going to want to have a visionary routine. One thing that I did this year, which was so helpful, was that I actually set Mondays up as my CEO day. And what I do on Mondays is I check in with my goals and vision that I have from both my life and my business. I then look at all of the things that I'm doing and all the actions that I'm taking. I almost do a mini audit every single week to make sure that everything that I am working on is in alignment with the vision that I have for my life and my business. If you know me, my philosophy is keeping things simple, not doing any extra work that you don't need to be doing. And yet I see so many entrepreneurs getting so caught up with the hustle culture on the internet that they start taking so much unnecessary action and then usually end up burnt out. One of the ways that you can avoid this is to have a visionary routine, a mini weekly audit where you sit down and you connect with your vision and you make sure that all of the plans and all of the action that you're taking is in alignment with that. For me, what this looks like is I might start out with some journaling. I've got my vision board just to the right of me here. I may sit down and just type some things out, spend some time on Pinterest, getting excited. I've got video vision boards. Like, I've got lots of different ways and I like to switch it up, but I just personally get really connected with what it is that I'm trying to build in my life. And then I go through and I have a look at the projects that I'm working on, the content that I'm currently creating, the vibe of my brand. Like, I really just go through everything and I make sure it feels good and it's in alignment with where it is that I'm trying to go. You know, say for example, you were going on a road trip. Maybe every so often you just glance over at the GPS and make sure that you're still on track. Now, I know your GPS is probably telling you where to go, but still, every so often you're going to look over and make sure you're still on the right route and you know where you're going. We don't do that enough in our lives and in our business. You don't even need to be an entrepreneur to do this. You can be someone who is studying, you can be someone who is progressing in your career, with your health goals, with anything. Just dedicating some time each week to make sure that you are on track. And yes, I mean each week, because months go by and we can get ourselves really off track exponentially if we're not doing a regular check-in. So once a week, couple of hours, connect with your vision, sit down and make sure that you're on track. Okay, so routine number 4 is going to be one of those ones that I know you've heard before, but I'm gonna say it anyway. You need to set yourself up with an exercise routine. Before you click off the video, please just listen to me. Exercise is one of the most powerful things that you can do for your life, for your business, for your relationships. No, I'm not talking about going and slaving away at the gym if that is not what you're into. But what I am saying is, I have spoken to many of you in this community, and one of the biggest complaints about why you can't achieve your goals or start a business is not having the energy to do so. Feeling tired all the time, feeling sluggish all the time. And yes, I think nutrition and supplementation and things like that are important, but I can promise you, one of the biggest things that helped me to get my energy back is exercise. Exercise does actually produce energy. It's a great way to increase your endorphins, to get your hormones right. I'm not by any means a PT or a nutritionist or anything like that, but all I know is that exercise is an excellent thing. Entrepreneurs need to be taking care of themselves. They need to be doing things to increase the energy that they actually have to give, to create, to put themselves out there. And exercise is one of those things that can really do that for you. And I know you might be sitting there thinking, I just don't like to exercise. I'm not talking about running or going to the gym and slaving away, like I said. Find some type of movement that you thoroughly enjoy. It could be yoga, it could be stand-up paddleboarding, it could be shuffling, it could be martial arts, it could be long hikes, it could be swimming. There are so many different ways that you can move your body. But I promise you, if you've ever had that, listen to me right now. If you've ever had that feeling like, oh, I'd love to be achieving this, or I'd love to be accomplishing that, but I just don't have the energy to do so, this is the thing that is going to change that for you. This is the thing that is going to give you the energy that you need to actually take action. Which kind of brings me to the 5th routine, which is of self-care routine. And again, I'm not talking about the self-care routines that you see here on YouTube where you spend 7 hours on a Sunday pampering yourself. I'm talking about, what do you personally need for self-replenishment? For me, it's things like going to the beach, spending time with friends and family, getting out in nature. I haven't pampered myself in a very long time. That's not what I personally see as taking care of yourself. You have to figure out what recharges your batteries. I think so often we're just so caught up in the cycle of being busy in our lives that we're just not taking enough time to be super intentional about how we fill our own cups. And so I would say to you, it's really easy to hear the advice, have a self-care routine, right? And then you go on Pinterest and there's these beautiful infographics of washing your hair and shaving your legs and doing all of these self-pampering things, or even getting a massage, or, just going to bed earlier. Like, those things are great. The generalized advice is fine. It's a great place to start. But personalizing all of these routines, but this one in particular, your self-care routine, is the best thing that you can do for yourself. If you don't know yourself enough to know what recharges your own personal batteries, figure it out. Don't just sit there and think, I'll get to it, because you won't. Actually spend some time sitting down and thinking about what gives me energy, what makes me feel relaxed. Is it meditation? Is it journaling? Is it something active? Is it something passive? Is it getting more sleep? Is it focusing on nutrition? It's different for everyone. We've all been raised differently. We've all got different biological makeups. And so self-awareness and figuring out what you personally need to feel energized and recharged and replenished and creative and all the things that you need to do to live an extraordinary life, please take the time that you need. Like I said, for me, pampering myself has nothing to do with self-care. Getting out in nature, spending time with people that I care about, listening to music, these are all the things that after the activity, I feel better than I did before. I feel more recharged than I did before. And so figure that out for you. I promise you it's one of the best things you'll do, not just in the new year, but for the rest of your life. And my final one is a release routine. And I promise you it's not as dirty as it sounds. Or maybe that's just me, I don't know. But you have to find a way to release stress. Now, maybe this sounds a little like the self-care routine, but for me, it's a little different. My release routine definitely goes more hand in hand with my hobbies, doing motocross and Muay Thai. When I do these things, it's like I'm able to focus so intently, get into that flow state, that all of the stresses of day-to-day life tend to melt away. Now, that's not generally the same as me spending time with friends and family or me spending in nature. What I would suggest that you do, and maybe this is the one that might seem a little harder to set up, I would focus on the other ones first, but having a routine or having something in your life where you can actually release emotion and release stress, whether that's having a big cry once a week, whether that is punching something like I like to do. Maybe that is running, exerting energy, Reiki, like whatever it needs to be. But the difference is, rather than filling yourself with joy and replenishment, this is gonna feel different because it actually feels like you're actually releasing all of that pent-up energy and pent-up stress that just naturally happens as a part of this human experience. Now again, the exercise, the self-care, and the release routine, these are all kind of malleable. I mean, they might end up being the same thing. For me, exercise and releasing with Muay Thai is the same thing. But make sure that you do have a way to decompress your stress. Maybe that is counseling. Therapy is such a great one, having someone to talk to. But figure out what that thing is for you, because emotionally things just get pent up. They can turn into stress. They can turn into physical pain. We need to channel all of that pent up emotion and that pent up energy out, because the stress of day-to-day life isn't going anywhere. We've just got to learn how to use it and remove it. All right, so those are these 6 routines that I recommend setting up for yourself to have an extraordinary life in the new year. Was there a routine that I missed? Is there a routine that you have that you think we should add to the list? Definitely let us know in the comments below. But like I mentioned, don't put pressure on yourself to have all of these perfect on day 1 of 2021. These are just things that you may want to consider and you may want to think about and you may want to take action on, because they will help you to be more free, to be more focused, to be more productive, to be happier. Routines and structure aren't there to restrict you. They are actually there to set you free. All right, that is it for me. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for staying to the end, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.